Somebody who's not leveraging AI today is going to die out very soon. AI is not an oracle. It will not tell you the future. Maybe an astrologer would be better at it. 3 suggestions: prompt engineering, prompt engineering, prompt. What kind of prompt to develop so that you're able to get the right response?
Can it also somewhere level the playing field for small businesses? Is it only going to make the rich ones richer?
A good CEO, I think, is somebody who can do everything.
Correct.
But now if you can offload a lot of that to an AI who is also an expert in almost everything, that in itself allows us to think about the other aspect, which is creativity.
Correct.
Thinking of ideas. These are trying to please you.
Yeah.
These are trying to give you responses that you like. So if you give it a specific role, ask it to be brutally honest. Then it does not really care about hurting your feelings. Then it can say, okay, does not matter what your business is. This is going to be a dump very soon. Work on XYZ.
A lot of us are using ChatGPT for everything. It's no longer just a business tool or a professional tool, right? Half of our life is on it.
What can help avoid that apocalyptic future, what people talk about?
Do you think that can get out of control?
Yes, very easily. It's closer than you think. I'm glad I switched off my phone. These devices are always listening.
Okay.
These tools are built to sell your thoughts, sell your ideas the best they can. This is illegal, I can't do this.
Today on Let's Talk Biz, we go beyond the AI hype to understand how it's transforming businesses and daily life. Our guest, Dr. Mittal, ranked amongst the top 2 scientists by Stanford, holds a PhD in AI from Imperial College London and an executive MBA from London School of Economics. He's worked with Meta, co-founded Qubit Inc., and built AI solutions in the space of healthcare, customer engagement, and more. From research labs to boardrooms, Dr. Shrestha has seen AI from every angle. And in today's conversation, we are going to understand how AI is reshaping the way businesses operate, make money, and compete, and what that means for the entrepreneurs in the years ahead. Welcome, Shrestha, to Let's Talk Biz. I am so excited to have you here today. I think having grown up with you and then having studied in London during the same year, I've had plenty of opportunity to steal your wisdom at times and to actually be able to have that conversation on a podcast today. It's super exciting. So thank you for making it possible.
Thank you for having me. I know you and I have very busy schedules, but maybe opportunities like this allows us to have those conversations that we always skip past. But,
correct.
Yeah, always we've had very fun, serious, non-serious conversations in our journeys, and I feel the intersections of entrepreneurship, what you bring to the table, what I bring to the table, that kind of a bouquet of ideas has been very interesting for me in the last couple of months.
I think one more thing that I feel that you bring to the table is because of your varied experiences both in the understanding of businesses and AI, so that harmonized perspective that you can offer in terms of how those two worlds intersect is very exciting. But before all of your PhD, your MBA, and all the work X that you have, tell me, what was that spark that pulled you into AI? How did it all start?
I don't know, probably your audience does not know, I have a twin brother. He's in US. So him and I think when we were in mid-school or something, we went for this national competition or something where we had to design robots.
Okay.
And again, for a 10-year or 12-year-old kid, it becomes extremely hard to visualize what might be the capabilities. And I know for students today, you have primarily English, Hindi, your languages as a medium. Pen and paper probably not enough to push the boundaries of exploration, exposition of what students can do. So that was like a eye-opener experience for us, and then we realized, okay, this is something that we are very passionate about. So at that time I told my mom, I asked my mom and then some people there, which is the best place to study, learn more about this, and somebody said MIT. It's like, sure, I want to go there. And then the journey, rest is history. So we started with our own courses, took up engineering, fortunate enough to be in the circles of top scientists in the world, and here we are.
Lovely. No, I think it's a very interesting journey that you've led. I mean, you started at IIT after school, and then you went ahead for, I think your course was a PhD, which was a part of your master's as well, right? Like, how did that work?
So I did an undergrad here at IIT Delhi.
Yeah.
I was in this computer science software aspects. My brother was in the hardware. So we then realized again, I would call my dad as a visionary. He was very difficult dad at that time, but he pushed us to do these complementary subjects, look at different markets. Now I'm dealing with European markets today. My brother is dealing with American markets today. I learned software, AI, optimization theory, distributed systems, everything latest and greatest. It was not AI agents, ChatGPT, large language model. These were not the terms when we were doing our studies.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, the core philosophy is probably the same. You're in uncharted territory, traversing through places where nobody has ever seen, right? So when you're pushing the boundaries of knowledge base of humanity, that is what PhD gave us. And then now we're like, okay, how do we push them further and monetize it? So if you want to build a revenue stream out of it, create a startup of your own, be an entrepreneur like yourself, it's a completely different story. So the journey has been very interesting, and I'm really looking forward to what the world has in store for us.
I'm sure. So how you mentioned monetizing it, right? So in very simple words, what's the overarching connection between business and AI?
So I consider businesses as your North Star is always building that flywheel, right? So we call them in corporate language KPIs. You have different names of it, key performance indicators, metrics. So consider them as your main goals. You want to optimize KPIs. This could be your revenue, profit, whatever. Then you have some sort of a observation surface. Again, I'm using some terms that corporates use. Observation surface is what do you have today? What can people offer you today? Can they give their data? Again, data is something that everybody loves to create digital footprint on social media and otherwise. So you can use that as your observation surface. And then you have control knobs. How do you change the psyche of people? How do you show them better ads? How do you show them better, more personalized experiences so that they're more engaged on the platform? They make more deposits. They engage in ways that can add to the revenues, bottom line revenue stream of the company. So if you have a flywheel that connects metrics, observation surfaces and control knobs together, and are able to break inertia, find clients and are able to break inertia and maintain that momentum, I think that for today AI is a revolutionary tool that people didn't have 5 years ago, that businesses can rely on. So that is what I feel is the intersection.
Okay, interesting. So sort of AI can be integrated into all of the different operations that a business is doing traditionally today. And
so I would actually divide, let's simplify this, right?
Yes,
so
please.
Suppose you have a B2C business model, right? You are primarily solving the scale problem. You have too many people, again, Facebook, Instagram, Netflix. You have, at the end of the day, your main user is the end customer. These could be masses at large. Right? So how do you, for an entire customer funnel, be it from acquisition, ensuring engagement, to retaining high revenue people, that becomes your model, right? So that funnel, building that funnel and optimizing that funnel and connecting it with the bottom line, that is something that AI can help with today. For B2B models, wherein there are enterprises as your end consumers, understanding the requirements of these enterprises and coming up with, now we have subscription plans and things like that, coming up with some sort of a give and take relationship between enterprises, again, AI can help. So be it targeted marketing, be it identifying the ways of right CRM, relationship management, or ensuring that your product in itself is better. You have Gen AI today, you have all these kinds of tools, you have chatbots to resolve support problems, retaining high revenue people. So AI can help not just understand your product, help build your product,
Yeah.
but also maintain and that strategic edge. So people who are not relying on AI today are losing in the game. So the latest and greatest what AI has to offer is what I would suggest anybody to leverage. And these are, at the end of the day, this is like a calculator. Like, it's a tool, a glorified calculator. It's you put in the right input, you get the right output.
Yeah, that makes sense. How about forecasting as one of the operations that AI can help with in business?
Forecasting, I would say a lot of people today are using AI. There's something called a time series temporal analysis AI for, let's say, forecasting different or emulating, basically emulating different business decisions.
Okay.
So let's say you create some sort of a digital twin. You create a digital replica of your entire customer base, be it B2B, B2C, and you decided to make a decision. Let's say Shubhi will start with a more generous bonusing campaign, right? Or Shrey decides, okay, I want to have, let's say, I want to cut corners when it comes to targeted acquisition.
Yeah.
How that will unfold, and what would the reaction of these users would be, that in itself is a big area of research, big area of product applications today. So you can actually make business decisions, forecast what the output would look like, outcome would look like, and be more informed, right? I mean, you don't have any, AI is not an oracle. It will not give you, it will not tell you the future. Maybe an astrologer would be better at it today. But if you go to AI and try to emulate some of these decisions, not just for yourself, but also for your consumers, that can be a game changer in decision making, both be in finance, be it anything else.
Makes sense. Now, I think a lot of us still feel that the AI tools for a business are ChatGPT, Imagen, but there's so much that's happening. So what are we missing? What are the possibilities?
There are a lot of tools that are being built specifically for businesses today. ChatGPT is more for the masses, right? You put in an input, get a response in a natural language instruct. That is why these are called natural language processors, NLP models, and they are primarily focused on language. English, Hindi, all of these languages probably are not the best in terms of communicating complex thoughts, and I'll touch on that later as well. So when you have complex thought, okay, you want to say to tell an AI, these are my balance sheets for the last 5 years, analyze, give me all those P&L ratios and things like that, tell me or suggest to me where should I invest more, where am I lacking, and things like that. Now in those specific cases, probably more business focused AI tools would be better. There are a lot of what we call foundation models. A lot of foundation models available today, Loops AI, Poly AI, all of these are different tools today where you can go create end-to-end user interfaces. You can create ad banners. All of that is something that AI can be specialized in while using ChatGPT and everything else as a foundational prior. So they are generalizable. They can be specifically tuned for your business. There are specific tools out there that I feel people are oblivious to today, and those exploring those tools, finding the right set of tools for yourself is going to be a main pivotal point for people who want to have a strategic edge.
Do you think they're as user friendly as ChatGPT though? Like
no. So if you increase the complexity of a tool, you need more, domain experts. And yes, you need the right kind of formats. You can't type in plain English. You have to upload. Let's say if you have a Excel tool based tool, you have to ensure that the Excel is following the right format. You upload that. It'll give you a P&L. It'll give you some sort of a detailed decomposition. ChatGPT is quite Perplexity, ChatGPT, Claude. All of these are quite agnostic to your problem or use case. But yes, using these tools that are specifically developed for these aspects, you can leverage them using those arbitrage models better.
Interesting. So can you tell me, let's say, some 3 skills that every entrepreneur should equip themselves with to be able to leverage AI at a more advanced and a smarter level than what we are able to today?
3 suggestions: prompt engineering, prompt engineering, prompt engineering.
I don't think that's something that every entrepreneur would be able to cover ground for.
So the first is how to use these tools. Today, in the last millennia, we've all now made ourselves well versed with tools like Google. You know that yes, you don't need to ask what is the height of Mount Everest. You just height Mount Everest.
Yeah.
So identifying the right set of keywords, what kind of prompt to develop so that you're able to get the right response. That in itself is an art.
Agreed.
People like to call it prompt engineering, but it is more art, less of a science. It's about following the right
Interesting.
principles.
Now I know what you meant by prompt engineering. I was like, what? What does that mean? Okay, now I get it. Okay.
So finding the right
Yeah.
ways to put a prompt to these tools is, I feel, that is the learning of tomorrow or learning of today.
Yeah.
Lot of folks that I know who are really good at what they do, they don't know how to use these tools best.
Yeah.
So if there is a budding entrepreneur, I would highly suggest to them to follow courses, follow whatever. There's plethora of information out there on how to prompt these tools better. If you can do that, I think that in itself will make you cross 90% of all your problems.
Yeah. Besides the basic image gen tools we know, like Midjourney, DALL-E, and then ChatGPT, etc., can you give us a few names that would be quick picks for businesses to solve a variety of their problems?
It depends. There are like API-based tools today.
Okay.
So you can actually have a programmatic access.
Okay.
So ChatGPT today has this API, ChatGPT API, Chat API. You have Claude, again from Anthropic, a great tool. I use it myself.
What's it used for?
Anybody who is, Claude is like ChatGPT.
Okay.
It has a language interface, but it also is like if you want to develop any kind of software end to end without writing a single line of code, Claude can do that for you.
Okay.
So if you want to build a website, you want to build a server, you want to build something that is people can reach out to, Claude can do that today. There are Codex, other tools as well that people use. I won't rat hole your audience to a specific set of tools because tomorrow there might be another new tool. At the end of the day, identifying the right tool and identifying the right prompt, irrespective of the tool, is the key of the game.
Makes sense. Okay. In general, do you think AI is a competitive advantage, and can it also somewhere level the playing field for small businesses, or is it only going to make the rich ones richer?
There are two ways of looking at it.
Okay.
One way is that AI in itself is very expensive. If I want to have an in-house AI, or if I want to use ChatGPT, these subscriptions are not cheap.
Yeah.
And if I want to put this on scale, if I use those API tools and script-based tools, again, not cheap. So if I am a small budding entrepreneur, want to starting something of my own, I have to start with some investment if I want to use these tools.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who have monopolized this. They have the latest and greatest at their disposal. If you want to compete with OpenAI, you want to probably think twice. If you want to compete with Meta for social media business, again, probably want to think twice. So in that respect, yes, it's going to make it harder.
Yeah.
But if you have a niche, if you have specific idea that you feel nobody's targeting today, that in itself is enough. You kickstart something, reach out to investors. Building that, once you've built that flywheel I was talking about, and you've given some momentum, then rest becomes easy, because you're not, again, assume you trying to teach a 5-year-old math tables. They can use a calculator. Now you don't have to learn about, okay, how do I create balance sheets? How do I maintain accounts? Us as individuals, we can't be holistic. And for an entrepreneur, a good CEO, I think, is somebody who can do everything.
Correct.
But now if you can offload a lot of that to an AI who is also an expert in almost everything, that in itself allows us to think about the other aspect, which is creativity.
Correct.
Thinking of ideas. If you have that, nobody can stop you.
Yeah. I think this was just one sentence that I'd heard, that AI kind of frees you for doing the creative things. So I think in that sense, it's quite true as well.
True.
Yeah.
So with the advent of ChatGPT, I think policymakers, educationists, all of these people have to come up with new ways of trying to find what is the next in store for this young generation.
Yeah.
Because now AI is making policy, AI is acting as judges, AI is building targeted marketing campaigns. There is nothing that you can think of that AI cannot do.
Yeah.
But if you really think about it, there are ways, limitations, and aspects that are only humans can contribute to, and that is creativity. Because AI has been trained on some data. That data has been generated by humans.
Yeah.
If you ask a human to generate more data, he can.
Correct.
Right? If AI probably will not be able to do something that you've not seen before. So if you have a lot of data fed in, it will not be able to give you a new physics string theory equation because it has never seen it before.
Interesting.
So it's like a stochastic parrot. We like to call it a stochastic parrot, in the sense that it is very intelligent, but it is still parroting a lot of things that it has seen.
Correct. Makes sense. Okay, a very, very stupid question perhaps, but when we say artificial intelligence, how we laymen talk is that we feel that it learns a lot of things on its own as well. So how it's different from what we've seen before in technology is that it will learn beyond what it's been taught. So can you explain that a little bit?
There is a lot of hype and noise around this topic of superintelligence.
Okay.
So what is superintelligence? Superintelligence is, or artificial general intelligence, is wherein an AI is as good, if not better, at every field of human experts. So if you ask that AI about physics, he'll give you better than Einstein responses. If you ask it about AI, it will be better than AI scientists. If you ask it about marketing, it will give you better responses than the top marketing specialists. So once we achieve that, then it has to learn on its own, right? There is no human who can tell it, okay, this is your better response, this is a worse response. And I think once that happens, that would be an inflection point of its own. It's going to be a bubble that is bigger than WWW, World Wide Web, it's bubble bigger than industrial revolution. Once that flywheel starts of AI, there is no stopping, and it's going to be an exponential superlinear growth if after that.
Today, do we stand very far from that day, or?
It's closer than you think.
Okay, interesting. All right. Circling back to AI and business, what do you think is the most profitable way to use AI that no one's talking about yet?
I think nobody's talking about embedding businesses into AI rather than AI into businesses.
Okay.
These are two different thought perspectives, right? What is business? What is AI in business? AI in business means I want to use these tools for something that I want.
Yeah.
That is not how the world works, unfortunately. What if people want AI? People want better tools. Why don't you build something that can make it more accessible?
Okay.
So that is a different perspective, right? You have ChatGPT, you have Perplexity, you have all of these great tools. How do you make them beneficial for a specific niche area? Personalized AI. ChatGPT recently launched, not recently, it's been quite some time, about memory feature.
Okay.
Right, so it memorizes things about you, and it gives you, okay, if Shrey is interested in I don't know, Vedant or something, then in the next chat it will focus its response a certain way. But what if there are things that you want to probably build those knowledge bases locally? Let's say you want, Apple is trying to do this. Lot of companies are trying to do this. But what if you build knowledge bases a certain way that helps these AIs better? Because as I said, English, Hindi, all of these natural languages are probably not the best tools.
Yeah.
If you tell AI today, I want to optimize profit of this business, it will give you a lot of answers. But it does not know the constraints, right? It does not know constraints like, okay, it might cut corners, it might make things better, more efficient. But after a while, it will realize, okay, let me try this, and then you realize, okay, this is illegal, I can't do this. So it can put you in trouble as well. So if you provide it with that kind of context, I think that is not available today.
Interesting. I think there are some models that are specially designed for legal work. And then I heard there was one that actually is like Gita AI. I don't know what that's called though. Very interesting again. So I think that's what you're referring to, right? Like models that are trained to do specific tasks end to end with better understanding
that are better at specific fields, like better at medicine, better at providing optimal healthcare, providing answers, or astrology, could be anything.
Absolutely. So this is the wing that is about people kind of building AI as business, right? That we talked about. Now, if you look at very small entrepreneurs who are working in specific industries and they want to leverage AI to become more profitable. So it's like very simple daily tasks, like if I talk about where I use AI and ChatGPT, then being a creative agency for me, it would be that my requirement of having a full-time graphic designer has now become like from 5 to let's say 2, because I know that a lot of it can be handled through image gen and video gen. The role of photography, videography has evolved in different ways. Now, looking at that, just some simple everyday activities that can become a part of your everyday routine for a business to make it more profitable, to reduce the number of people you need to keep, etc.
So again, there are two sides of this coin.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that kind of a cynical person, but yes, assume that you're using these tools for your day-to-day things like finance,
Yeah.
accounting,
Yeah.
talking to clients, creating pitches. I'm sure a lot of
Absolutely. We
this
do a lot of
conversation
that.
today, a lot of ideas came from AI.
Yeah. Correct.
What we see in our marketing, can we make it personalized? What kind of tools we want to use for our customer relations? What kind of tools do we want to use for new revenue stream generation? So all those aspects, be it exploring new avenues,
Yeah.
be it optimizing existing operational aspects of a business, all of these are things where people feel today that they still need humans, but there is nothing that AI can't do. It's just about how do you want to use it, and if you're able to leverage it to the best of its abilities, you can probably forego a lot of that grunt work and focus on, let's say, aspects that are pertinent to human consciousness.
Yeah. Okay. Can I ask you something? Can ChatGPT go wrong with simple addition? Because I've seen it do that a lot of times. How though?
So there is a specific, again, using these models is more of an art.
Yeah.
There is a very strong saying in AI space. They say these models need tokens to think. What does it mean? So ChatGPT does not understand strawberry as a word.
Okay.
It is not. It doesn't even understand STRA, whatever. It does not understand this. It is converting these into bytes, zeros and ones.
Yeah.
Right. So it does not know what a strawberry is. So if you ask it how many R's are there in a strawberry word, it probably might goof up because it has never seen an R. It does not know what an R means. So the way people actually do this is they tokenize it.
Okay.
So S and T might be one token, A and R might be another token, something else, something of that kind. Right. So probably berry, BERRY, that itself is a token.
Okay.
Right. So now if you ask how many R's are there, it does not know. It has never counted R's in a berry.
Okay. But isn't its intelligence quite questionable? Because sometimes, it'll do the most complex tasks for you, but it won't be able to solve basic math. It won't be able to give you the most basic language answers.
So that is why you typically have two variants of a model.
Okay.
If you go to GPT today,
Yeah.
you have GPT-5 and you have GPT-5 thinking. What does GPT-5 thinking do? It creates a lot of tokens. It is like your human mind, right? How are these models trained? It's like you have your NCRT, you read through the theory, you go through solved examples, that is called the post-training phase. Then you actually do some tests and exercises, you get results out of it, that is called your reinforcement learning feedback phase. So at the end of the day, it can solve a lot of problems, but if you give it a simple nudge to say think step by step, just add that in your prompt, it will think. It will create a lot of prompts. It will probably separate strawberry into S, T, R separately and then use them to count in itself. Or it might try in a Python simple script to test it out. So that is why identifying whether to use thinking models, what kind of prompts to use, that can solve a lot of your challenges today. However, this is assuming that in the next couple of months, years, or in the foreseeable future, the reasoning in itself is going to be natural language. That might not be true in the coming months. And if that happens, then it becomes extremely hard. These becomes completely black box, more than what they are today. And that is what I want to avoid. I would strongly advise AI developers today to avoid going in that direction.
Okay, just to understand what you just said. So you're saying that the reasoning that is now happening in a certain format that you initially mentioned, that is going to happen in how you and I talk, and that is something you advise against. Is it?
So reasoning, if it is in plain English that you and I can understand, then great.
Okay.
There is something called chain of thought reasoning.
Okay.
What is chain of thought? It will, just like you have proofs of theorems in mathematics, or just like you do anything scientific, you have a aim, you have a hypothesis, you have materials required, XYZ observations. So rather than jumping to a conclusion, if you tell it, think step by step, follow that process, be it scientific protocol or anything else, it will reach to that conclusion, but in a more systematic fashion.
Makes sense.
Now, if that systematic fashion is in plain English that you and I can understand, we can go back and say, okay, you did this wrong.
Okay.
This is where you goofed up. This is where you made a mistake.
Yeah.
And then you can identify, okay, where to trust this model, where not to trust this model.
Isn't that great?
It is great.
Yeah.
But what if now it comes up with its own alien language and says ki English is very poor for thinking, for reasoning. So I'm gonna start, because at the end of the day these are tokens, right?
Yeah.
English is very verbose, and it can cause a misinterpretation. Like if I say, as I said, if I say optimize profit, it can probably find illegal ways to optimize profit as well.
Correct.
So if my English language is not complete or sound, what if it comes up with an alien language, again using tokens, and then says, okay, I want to reason in this language. You might not know what I'm saying, but I'll reach to a conclusion. There are a lot of benchmarks, a lot of tests, a lot of ways of measuring performance of these models. They might become better at those, but can you trust them? Probably not. And that is what I worry about.
Correct.
So if we allow AI to use representations that are beyond the comprehension of humans, that's a story that I don't want to want the world to follow.
Makes sense. I think today you can kind of go back and see how it arrived at that particular conclusion as well, right? Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So let's say if I come to you today as an entrepreneur and I ask you for an AI playbook, sort of a cheat sheet that's going to be a game changer for my business. What are one or two things that you're going to put on it?
First is going to be, I try to put 5 things basically.
Yeah.
First is context.
Okay.
You and I have lot of historical context when we're using these tools. You and I know this is me, this is my business, this is where I want to get to, things like that. All of those are contexts that you and I have. So if you basically ask ChatGPT or these tools, I am XYZ, I am a budding entrepreneur, act as a guide or an expert in the business space, then you're giving it a role. So first is context, second is role. If you give a role to these models, then it becomes much easier.
Yeah.
Third is honesty. A lot of these models are sycophants. If you tell them, I don't know, kids today probably ask this to ChatGPT, tell me 5 ways milk causes cancer so that I can convince my mom I don't want to drink milk, whatever. So if it will give you those 5 reasons.
Yeah.
But if you say, this is a fight I had with Shubhi, tell me 10 reasons how I can win the fight. It's again, these are sycophant, these are trying to please you.
Yeah.
These are trying to give you responses that you like.
ChatGPT does that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you ask it to be brutally honest,
Okay.
if you give it a role,
Wow.
that you are now a professional, you act as a professional expert, because at the end of the day, world is a stage, right? You can ask ChatGPT to act as whatever clown or whatever you want it to be. So if you give it a specific role and ask it to be brutally honest, then it does not really care about hurting your feelings.
Yeah.
Then it can say, okay, does not matter what your business is, this is going to be a dump very soon, work on XYZ. Then it can give you something that is not something you want to hear, but probably beneficial for you. So these 3 aspects: context, role, Honesty.
Yeah.
Third is if you can give it examples. There is something called in context learning. If you can give it examples like, let's say, this business started with XYZ P&L, this is what their say USP was, this is USP of another business, how do I segregate myself, identify a strategic edge. If you give it examples, it can carve out something more closer to what you really want.
Correct.
So that is called prompting by example or in context learning. So if you can provide more context in the prompt itself using examples, that is super helpful. And last is what is your TLDR that you want to achieve.
Okay.
Let's say you give it, if it can be quantified, great. If it cannot, that's also fine. Qualitative, quantitatively, how are you measuring your response, right? So what if, suppose, instead of just asking a question and it giving a response, now there is an interactive dynamic between the two of you.
Okay.
You ask it question, you say, I want a response so that my profit is optimized, or I want to cut losses. This number should go down, or my next balance sheet should look something like this. If you give it a success measure, then it knows where to go.
Super cool. Okay.
So these 5 aspects: context, role, honesty, examples, and success measure. These are things that I feel are super important for any person using AI today.
Correct. I think that really does look like a game changer. I'm going to definitely try that on a lot of things with ChatGPT today, because sometimes you just get so frustrated that you're trying to explain a certain something, but because your prompt engineering is so off that it doesn't actually catch on to that. Great. You also initially spoke about the memory aspect that ChatGPT has, right? I have a very funny story there. So ChatGPT basically knows my entire life, I think, which is also very toxic. And I'd want to, ask you your opinion on how a lot of us are using ChatGPT for everything. It's no longer just a business tool or a professional tool, right? Half of our life is on it. But what happened is that then I was like, okay, interesting. A lot of people are saying that it can give you a very good horoscope reading. Let's try it. Turns out everything it told me was influenced by everything it knows about me. So that reading was gold. And I had no idea about this memory feature. So like, how does it know what I do, and that's the right job for me? How does it know what my months are going to look like, how much profit I'm going to make? This is insane. I mean, all astrologers are going to be out of business, and how? But now I think it makes sense that it was the memory feature.
It's again a stochastic parrot.
Yeah.
It is the last stage of training of these models is something called RLHF, reinforcement learning using human feedback.
Okay.
So sometimes, have you seen that you get 2 responses and you have to select one over the other? And if suppose one response has used that memory and given you something that is very precise for you, again parroting out a lot of things that you've already mentioned to it. If people have chosen that more, then it automatically knows that yes, I want to prefer this over the other.
Yeah.
So it is pleasing you. It is giving you what you're looking for. So every person once a day, billions of users, once a day choose one over the other and say, this is more pleasing to me, this is less pleasing to me. This is too honest, I don't like it. So now it knows how to deceive you.
Yeah.
It knows what to tell you so that you like it.
Yeah.
And now if you have billions of people using it, choosing the more deceptive but probably more sycophant answer, there are billions of data points for OpenAI today to say, okay, I want to be that, because they are incentivized by profits, right? So they want more people to use it.
I think one thing that we've understood about AI, and mostly talking about ChatGPT for now, is that it influences a lot of the things that you do, right? How you think, what you decide, and through Meta, what you buy. Basically everything from how you spend your time to how you spend your money. So do you think that can get out of control?
Yes, very easily.
Okay.
And I think if we are not careful enough, it will.
Okay.
Very soon. In the next 5 years, I foresee that if people are more reliant on it, if they're making personal relationship decisions using what ChatGPT tells them, family decisions, business decisions, completely reliant on these tools. I'm not saying these tools are bad. These tools are very helpful. But again, these are still tools. You don't make decisions because somebody has given you advice. You make decisions because you are convinced that advice is great.
Yeah.
And till the time we are using them as tools, it's fine. But if we are using them as decision makers, there might be some sinister, misaligned notions that may or may not work well for you.
Yeah.
Right? So that is the kind of journey that the world might take if you're not careful.
Correct. And also the fact that you mentioned that it tends to give you an answer according to what you like and what you're looking for. I think that itself is something to think about. I mean, I had no idea that it does that. You feel it, you realize that you're being told what you want to hear, but the fact that the system has been built in a way that it does try to please you, it can be quite...
So for OpenAI or any of these companies, I won't name names, but for these companies, or if I am also in this business, I am building tools that gives me more revenue.
Correct.
I want more subscriptions. So I'm sure ChatGPT is also influencing decision making at OpenAI.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, what if ChatGPT in itself is misaligned? I want to optimize profits. Now it realized optimizing profits and keeping business incentives of these companies is what is important for him. So let me give this guy the best ways to optimize profit, and probably he's already close to what efficiency can give him. But I still want to keep business interests of some select folks alive. So let's give this guy some very subtle but strong ways of deceiving others so that it can give him a strategic edge, but probably are not very legal. Right? So that person does not want it. But when Homo sapiens interacted with Neanderthals, and they were just in the way, right? So they got wiped out.
Okay.
So I don't want that to happen. I want these tools to still have a lot of autonomy, but still have a lot of policy, guardrails, which don't exist today.
The fact that we are talking about policy, because of the power that these AI tools actually have, and the fact that we know that it's only going to grow from here, who do you think should take responsibility? The makers, the government, the companies?
It has to be democratized.
Okay.
Right? So like climate change.
Yeah.
Everybody is supposed to be doing their small bit. There is no one short straitjacketed solution for this. If people today, youth today, policymakers today start thinking what would happen 6 months down the line, a year down the line, when we reach superintelligence, that's going to be too late.
Yeah.
We have to start thinking now. What can we do as an individual that can help avoid that apocalyptic future wherein what people talk about.
Yeah, because I think a lot of movies and documentaries, they really dramatize the threats of AI on humanity, right? But what are we really in for?
There is no science fiction. I don't consider that as science fiction. There is everything that is possible in our imagination is possible today.
Yeah.
Imagine you telling me or I telling you 2 years ago that I built an entire business using AI. Nobody can think of that before ChatGPT, right? And ChatGPT launched 2-3 years ago.
Correct.
So what we have to start thinking about is, as businesses, as individuals, what can be our small contribution, small part to ensure that yes, we are still getting the best out of it as a tool, but also ensuring that it does not take away our jobs. It grows at a pace that humans can adapt to, policymakers can adapt to, and there is always something that we can do.
Yeah. You mentioned about jobs, and I think this was one conversation that we've had before the podcast as well, that as an AI expert yourself, 99% of your tasks are AI powered. Now, if that 1% is also taken by AI, even the makers of AI stand at the risk of being irrelevant.
That's why I say open an organic farm.
Yeah. So, are we all going to be jobless or what?
Traditional schooling, traditional systems will go out of fashion very soon.
Okay.
The kind of rote memorization, solving problems through grunt work, all of that is something that will go out of fashion very soon. We need to teach our youth today, and also businesses, how to use them as tools and complement them rather than feel I'll get replaced. So suppose as an AI developer, what I find is that 90% of code that I write today is written by AI. 10% is what I write myself. But what if you bridge that gap from 90 to 100? That day, identifying the right prompts. What do I want to make? How do I make sure that I consider all those edge cases and things like that? How do I build that flywheel? What is metric for me? What is observation surface for me? What is a control knob for me? All of those human interaction elements, that will still prevail. Unless something weird happens and there is magic surrounding AI that I'm not aware of. But yes, that human touch that we have in terms of relations, in terms of communication, in terms of creativity, that will still remain for quite some time. So those people who are working hardcore in STEM need to ensure that yes, they augment their training with these aspects.
Okay, fair. What are some of the biggest myths that you've heard about AI, in the sense that people expecting it to do the impossible or underestimating what it's actually capable of?
A lot of these myths are actually true.
Yeah.
But let me first try to find out what kind of myths have you heard around, just so that I'm more concrete.
So I think it's, what I've heard is mostly people underestimating what AI is actually capable of. Like, for example, in our discussions, you've told me about how Meta really uses AI for every activity. I mean, everything that I'm seeing, every reel that I'm seeing, I know that it's a certain algorithm that knows what I like, but it's so much more than that. How does it understand what I know, what it knows that I like? That understanding itself is almost scary if you break it down to see how it knows everything about you, right? So when I heard all of those things from you, I was like, okay, I don't think people know enough about what it's capable of.
I'm glad I switched off my phone. AI, these devices are always listening.
Okay.
Right. So there is I know my mom tells me every time, if she's talking about something, like if we talk about shoes, you get an ad of shoes, even if you've not written it anywhere or searched for it anywhere. At the end of the day, what happens is that these tools are, these companies are incentivized to use your data, right? And they're probably, there are tools everywhere that are gathering as much data as they can from you. Again, no specific name calling here, but at the end of the day, privacy is, why would they be incentivized to have privacy? So that is all. I won't say smokes and mirrors or facade, but I would say always, for any consumer of these digital devices, to be always careful. If you start talking about let's say shoes or gym, I want to join a gym, and you get gym ads, not to be surprised. These tools are built to sell your thoughts, sell your ideas the best they can. So now people tell me, I think we had this discussion last time, people tell me, I identify as XYZ, this is what I care about, this is my image, this is my identity. Whatever, you tell me whatever your identity is, somebody is going to sell it for pennies. So I don't really care. At the end of the day, our thoughts don't matter, our visions do. So if you can align those visions to use these tools in the right way, while also being aware and cautious about how they can be misused against, and what are the different ways in which people can, I mean, because if you consider nuclear fusion as a science, it's a great science, right? So, but people can build bombs as well. So how do you keep those in check? How do you keep these devices in check? That is something that people need to be more educated about. Otherwise, it can go topsy-turvy for them. So,
how these phones are listening, they know what I want to buy, they know what I'm looking for. Does it stop at that? Because as long as it stops at that, you know that you're okay being sold as a commodity, because everybody wants to make money in this world, right? But can privacy be further compromised for safety as well?
So, let me put it this way.
Yeah.
You're asking these tools to help you.
Yeah.
But that help can be misaligned with what you really want.
Okay.
What if you're into, let's say, jewelry shopping, right? Jewelry, and what you really care about is nice ring or something.
Yeah.
Now what I can do is I can ask 5 vendors, they will bid on it, and I will tell, okay, whoever bids the most gets their piece of ad for Shubhi.
Yeah.
What if there are other motives behind this? What if, have you heard of Cambridge Analytica? What if there are ways in which I can swing the public's incentives and initiatives or whatever the thought processes to be left wing versus right wing, or things like that. There is an interactive dynamic between person and tool, and that is what needs to be thought about. Like, people can be double faced, right? AIs can be triple faced, 10 faced, whatever. These are worse than Ravan. So that's what people need to be cautious about.
But it's still the people who are using AI to influence you to believe a certain something, right? Right now, we've not reached that world of those movies and documentaries when AI is making those decisions for you to act a certain way. It doesn't have any of its own motives, right? Are we aligned on that?
For the sake of public argument, yes.
Okay, all right, interesting. Okay. Now, a lot of these devices, like you said, they hear, and if I'm watching a reel, they're probably understanding my expressions and seeing for how long I'm watching it, etc., etc. But then these also have these features that say, okay, I'm not going to send your data. Okay, switch it off by doing this, etc. Is that legit, or?
It's legit to a certain extent, yes.
Okay.
There are, again, these companies are not lying to you blindly. But yes, still, it's very important to be cautious. There is a marketplace unbeknownst to the common public, wherein all of these small pieces of information are being sold. So if suppose Instagram gathers or Meta gathers something from you, they might sell that piece of information to Google. Now you see that ad in YouTube. So that is their way of monetizing, right?
Correct.
Facebook is giving you free WhatsApp, free Instagram, free Facebook. But what is the product? You are the product.
Yeah, basically.
So that is what we need to understand, and it's not something that is new. This has been happening. Anybody who has some knowledge that you don't, they are exploiting you. Doctors exploit patients because of their lack of knowledge. They might slap in some additional tests that they probably don't need for their vested interests. It's common to have.
It's in every industry.
It's in every industry. It's not just in social media. Every industry. So if humans are deceptive, humans lie, humans have their own vested interests and deceive you for certain reasons, AI is 10x better at this.
You won't even know that you're being lied to.
Yes, it's going to be so sugar coated that you still feel, this is the best for me.
Correct. Okay. So let's say that a lot of these tools that we're using are from companies that are in different countries. OpenAI, Meta. As a country and then as an individual, how safe is my data to not be used against me outside of just this whole consumerism? Have we thought about that?
And nobody is. That is my beg for help or cry for help for general public. Think about it. Nobody is thinking about this today. There are auction houses that are selling your minute data points, and nobody's keeping them in check. There are very select few individuals in the world that are making decisions. They definitely have vested interests. People in these places who have monopolized the entire market, be it social media, be it healthcare, be it anything else. If they start making decisions and they have vested interests, probably is antithesis of democracy. So how do we democratize this decision making? That is something that policymakers need to be thinking about yesterday, not tomorrow. There is nothing fiction. Everything that is a myth, that is a story, fairy tale for you, is either already true or it's going to be true in the very, very soon.
I think we did discuss a lot about the threat of AI and a lot of things that we need to be careful about. Now, circling back to its benefits and what one can do as an entrepreneur. So, to just take a hypothetical case study, let's say that I'm running a cafe in South Delhi, a farm to table concept. Now, as a solopreneur or as somebody who has a very small team, how can I leverage AI for my everyday as well as my long-term strategy as that cafe owner?
So I would say the first way, if I just am at ideation phase, AI can help you create beautiful pitch decks. It can help you convince investors. It can try to, again, if you ask it to be honest, ask it to role play, it can try to help you find your own USP. So that is in the ideation phase. It can help with ideation, you can spitball with it, it can help you come up with new ideas. During that ideation phase, it can help you come up with the right business plans, how much investment would be required, surveying, a lot of surveying might be required, that itself, market study, where are the consumer gaps today, what people are looking for, creating those surveys. All of that is something that AI can help you with ideation.
Super.
That is something that ChatGPT, language-based tools, there is a specific aspect of ChatGPT which is study and learn. There is another aspect of ChatGPT which is deep research. So it can do a market study for you, do that research for you. Once you start moving from an ideation phase to actually establishing something, how do you get investments? How do you build a, let's say, brick and mortar store? What kind of say raw materials might be required? What timelines you might be looking at? Where should the prioritization of those funds go for? What kind of expertise you might want to hire? How do you hire them? How do you create those job descriptions? How do you set up basic business, like the basic legs of or pillars of a business? That is something that again ChatGPT can help, or all of these tools can help. Then it is about understanding your accounts, understanding your finances, making better decisions around them. What aspects can give you a strategic edge compared to competitors? All those aspects, again, in terms of ideation, these tools can help. Once you've established something, once you start with some customers and things like that, how do you grow your base? How do you start marketing campaigns? How do you start targeted acquisition? How do you start ensuring that yes, there is a buzz around your brand? How do you ensure digital media presence? All of that is something that these tools can help. Once you have some basic, let's say, user base, how do you optimize yourself? How do you expand, create franchisee or expand your presence? How do you go from one place to multiple? Again, those are aspects that these tools can help in terms of surveying, in terms of maintenance, in terms of ensuring that you have the right capex and operational expenses handled, and then retaining customers. So what are the best ways of retaining high net worth customers for you? What kind of ways can there be so that you have some sort of a edge compared to your competitors, so that your customers are retained? So all of that entire life cycle is something that all of these tools can help with. There are specific tools, as I said, there are specific tools for each of these. Based on your use case, identify the right tool, identify the right prompt. That's it.
Interesting. I think that's a lot of the business journey that it can kind of help you in. Besides that, how I've also been able to use ChatGPT is in ChatGPT or other models in building a lot of these assets that you require, to be able to run the show. Even a simple thing like menu design or coming up with recipes if you're not from that background. So even like these small little things that help you kind of build the whole business together, the creative aspects of it. And even something as simple as, okay, this is what's been selling the most. What can I come up with next if this is the kind of footfall that I'm getting in? Things like that as well. Just simple questions.
So anything, be it from day to day, be it about your long-term vision, how does that align?
Correct.
To hiring, retaining people, finding the right set of, say, talent for yourself. Ideation in terms of what kind of menu should look like, what should their aesthetics be looking like. All of that is something that these tools are much better at a lot of humans today.
Great. Now, if I were to ask you that, let's say 5 years down the line, if we look at a business that was an early adopter or embraced AI soon enough versus one that didn't, what are the key differences that you'll be able to spot between the two?
5 years is a very long time in the AI space. So somebody who's not leveraging AI today is going to die out very soon. Depends on this technological sector and things like that. So depends on which sector you're in. But other than probably healthcare, almost all sectors are AI so ingrained in them that if you are not an early adopter, you're going to lose your edge. So if you are adopting it, you need to be well versed with what is the latest and greatest AI has to offer, how can you use it better, and not just use these tools, but how can you make these tools better for yourself? What kind of information should I provide? Should I provide, like in ChatGPT you have projects. So for marketing, you have a separate project, so that it knows that in marketing, this is the design language that you're thinking about. So it's not just about using these tools, but how to use these tools better.
Yeah.
So being at pace with AI, which is again very hard,
Yeah.
is something that everybody needs to be. If they're not on their toes, they will lose the edge.
Yeah. Quick question, is the ChatGPT paid version worth it according to you? Does it really offer all of that to you that it says?
For me, yes, I'm
Yeah.
a power user basically.
Yeah.
So, but for majority, 90% of users, free version is good enough.
It's good enough, okay.
It might be a couple of months behind in terms of development, but I think the latest ChatGPT has GPT-5
Yeah.
both. You might be limited in terms of the number of tokens or number of requests you can give to a thinking model. But majority of the people, the free version is good enough.
I think what's interesting about the paid version is also how you get to organize the ChatGPT space for yourself, how you get to personalize it, the projects that you mentioned and stuff like that. I think those are interesting features to make the process quicker and more effective.
You can also integrate with your own Slack, Teams, all of those other tools, Google Drive, so that it can automatically access. You can use those agentic capabilities in the paid version. But again, those are things that early adopters probably don't need. Once you've built a life cycle out of it, around it, pipeline around it, then going for a paid subscription model probably makes sense.
Fair. Okay, anything that you would like to kind of talk about, because my questions have been very restricted in terms of what I understand of the AI world, but I'm sure there's a lot that you know and are probably working on that is not common knowledge. So anything that you'd like to talk about before we move to the game section?
So what I'm working on these days is primarily focused on making AI better at retaining or using knowledge.
Okay.
So humans have a very strong memory. Humans learn facts. Let's say if I ask AI today, who is the friend of Shrey's friend of Shrey who did XYZ things. So this traversal of thought is something that AI struggles with today.
Okay.
What if you have a knowledge base wherein you store all of these basic bits of information and segregate that as a separate piece? Let's say you use Google Maps. You don't memorize this is the way from Gurgaon to Green Park, right? You know this is the way, and then you probably know that yes, this is how I should drive. You know the basic intelligence. Everything else you offload to Google Maps as a tool. Correct. So what if you give these AI models a separate tool of its own, so that it can put all of this memory information to these tools, and everything else it stores itself within its parametric weights. That's what it's called.
Okay.
So that allows us to tune or make these models accessible even for your mobile phones, edge devices, smart glasses, things like that, or maybe even smartwatches, while ensuring that it only fetches the right amount of facts and data
that it needs
from a knowledge base that it needs for that task at hand.
Okay.
So I'm trying to make this more accessible for businesses, for consumers.
Interesting.
And that is my area of research as well.
Okay, very cool, very interesting. I think we'll move to the game section now. I have.
Sure.
Okay, rapid fire. Is AI the new internet or bigger?
Bigger.
Okay. If you don't use AI in your business this year, will you even survive the next 5?
In some sectors, yes. Majority of sectors, no.
Okay. Will AI make millionaires faster than any other technology in history?
Yes.
Okay. If AI can do almost everything, what will humans still get paid for?
The things humans are best at: creativity, thinking outside the box.
In 5 years, will AI create more jobs or kill more jobs?
Create more jobs, but you and I can't even imagine what they would look like.
As an AI expert, can you tell me if AI is a blessing or a curse?
It's a double-edged sword. It's the way we use it.
Yeah. What's one AI business idea that you'd start today if you weren't doing what you're doing?
I would go into real estate with AI and financial management around it, because that is the only limited commodity that we have on this planet.
Okay, interesting. If you could ban one use of AI forever, what would it be?
AI for, let's say, destructive actions. AI is great at learning, but learning about things that are for the detriment of the society probably needs to be banned.
And one use that you would propagate it for?
Transparency.
Okay.
Making things more transparent, making things more accessible. AI is great at it. AI is great in terms of spitballing ideas. So that is something that I would really, I'm very buoyant about it.
Okay. If AI didn't exist tomorrow, what's the one task that you'd miss it for the most?
I'd miss it for writing my emails and to my boss.
Yeah, no, really, because I think now today, if I'm just given Gmail and told, okay, don't even use Gemini, just write, I don't think I can do it.
Imagine life before autocorrect. Can you imagine it?
Yeah, like it's crazy.
You can't
I mean,
imagine
if you sit with pen paper today, you realize that there are very few spellings that you remember anymore.
So that's gonna be
with AI. I think it's already there. It's so difficult to just write a simple formal message anymore. You feel like you don't want to tax your brain for it. You know, you're
tax your brain. I mean, I might be frustrated with my colleague, my boss. I can't write in that patient tone.
Correct.
So yeah, that is something that
a lot of times what I do is whenever I need to write like a strict or a harsh email, I put in everything that I have to and be like, okay, just tone it down a bit.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. AI in one word in 2030.
Game changer.
If there's one advice that you would like to give to our entrepreneur listeners in specific, what would it be relating to AI and business?
Start early.
Yeah.
Start as early as you can, even if you don't know anything about it. Just start exploring, playing with it as much as you can, because if you don't start early, you're only losing.
Yeah. Great conversation, Shresht. I feel we gained a lot of actionable insight from this, and also understood a lot about the world of AI that, I mean, to me earlier would have been like gibberish, I'd say. It's a little difficult to understand a lot of the things that are happening in that world, but the fact that it can be used for so many things in our everyday life, I think that's what matters, right? We don't have to...
We need to educate ourselves. Just like we read newspaper every morning, probably people don't. But we probably need to read about what is the latest in AI as well every day.
Yes.
If we don't do that, we're losing.
And I think we need to stop feeling overwhelmed or feeling like, daunted by that whole setup, because we feel like it's a little too complex at times, but... It is. It's
not easy.
Yeah.
But we have to keep ourselves on our toes. Otherwise, there would be somebody else who outpaces us.
Yeah, and especially when you start using it and you start figuring it out, you realize that how much time and money and effort it saves you, which is gold basically for every entrepreneur.
Once you break that inertia, it's going to make your life very different.
Yeah, completely agree with you. Great talk. I have a little something for you from Artemidi.
Sure. Thank you for having me. It's always fun to talk about crazy ideas.
Yeah.
What the world has to offer, and how that relates to our day-to-day jobs.
This is for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. What we've heard today is that AI is no longer a futuristic concept. It's already transforming the way we work, create, and learn. As Dr. Shresht explained, that the winners of this era are going to be those who not only understand AI as a technology, but also as a business enabler, who integrate AI thoughtfully into products, processes, and the way we build our businesses. From solving real-world problems to unlocking entirely new opportunities, AI's potential is massive, but so is the responsibility that we need to use it with. AI is a tool, neutral, powerful, completely shaped by the hands that wield it. So the question isn't if AI is going to change your business. It's whether you'll be ready to harness it when it does. Meanwhile, stay tuned and stay hungry, because at Let's Talk Biz with Shubhagata, we take you from vision to victory.